welcome to the International Show, sponsored by Star Central and presented by the gentleman of country radio, Mark Eckel, with Australia's First Lady of Song, Shaza Leigh.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our international show, brought to you by the fabulous three platforms, www.ozcountrymusicradio.com, ozradiogold.net, and Allied International Radio, and all those wonderful stations streaming our international show and podcast. I'd like to welcome to the microphone my beautiful co-host, Shaza Leigh. Hello, Shaza.
Good morning, Mark, and it's fantastic to be with you again. Hello to all our listeners around the world now. It's exciting times.
It is exciting times, Shaza. We have the international show going out now on podcast, and everybody's really enjoying it. I'm actually replaying a lot of the early ones because some people have missed out.
Yes, and we're actually doing additional broadcasts of the shows across our networks as well, because people listen to radio in their own time frame these days. So it's wonderful to be able to give them extra opportunities to hear the show. We
keep on getting those good vibes coming in from our loyal listeners. Let's go over to and start with Levi Coby today, Shaza, and this is your request that we play F-150 first up from Levi.
Levi is doing amazing things on international radio, and it's been a pleasure for us to be working with him promoting his career. He's currently sitting at number 3 on the contemporary country songs in Australia, and plus he's sitting at number 4 on the international country chart. And so he's getting great traction, and we're really pleased for him and proud of him.
We certainly are. But before we go into Levi, let me inform our listeners today that we've got 2 interviews. Shaza has pre-recorded a lovely interview with Carol, and I've got an interview with Patsy and Dave and their wonderful new album called The Willow. So that's all coming up for your listening pleasure, folks. Let's go to Levi Coby now and the fabulous F-150.
Get up, get on my truck, hit the start and crank it up. I love to hear that baby roar, 'cause I'm gonna see my girl, the one who changed my world. And I sure love riding in my F-150. Got the good Lord right with me, cruising along, yeah. Pretty girl right by my side, so beautiful I ain't lying. She's like some country song, we just cruising along, yeah. We just cruising along. Door and she walked in. Yeah, she's got these eyes that shine, so beautiful, just takes my breath. When we go for a ride, riding in my F-150, got the good Lord right with me, cruising along, yeah. Pretty girl right by my side, so beautiful I ain't lying. She's like some country song, and we just cruising along, yeah. We just cruising along, yeah. I will see your pretty smile as I'm breaking down. You take my breath in that pretty white dress, sweet sailor vibes. Packing up my F-150, my whole life's right here with me, moving on. yeah. Pretty girl right by my side, so beautiful I ain't lying. She's like some country song, we just cruising along, yeah. We just cruising along, yeah. We just cruising along, yeah. We just cruising along, yeah.
Yes, that's the fabulous Levi Coby, and that is a follow-up to his number one song that was Southern Girl. But I think this is every bit as good as that. Shaza?
Yes, look, I love his work, and we're really looking forward to hearing more music from Levi and being able to share it on radio.
Talking about hearing more music from artists, now Garrett Gregory is a brand new artist to our network. If this song that he's got out at the moment is any indication of the work that he can provide, well, we're in for a terrific run, because She Don't Need to Drink to Dance is just such an extraordinary number, and I think it's the highest played track on my broadcast.
Oh, that's amazing. I wasn't aware of that. I know that you discovered him and you were very keen to promote his work. Once we heard his music, we were really pleased to jump on board. So we might let the listeners listen to Garrett Gregory with She Don't Need to Drink to Dance.
She loves to have a glass of red after a long, hard day. She loves to throw a little salt on the rim when the weekend comes her way. She'll even settle for a beer with me out on the back porch, and even let herself get a little tipsy. Well, the one thing I love most, if it's country, rap, or rock and
Well, that's getting everybody right around the planet up and dancing. That fabulous track from Garrett Gregory, She Don't Need to Drink to Dance. And it won't be long before we'll have Garrett Gregory on our international show. That's what you're listening to right now. And we're going to go up to Tamworth with my co-host Shaza Leigh, because Shaza's got a special guest for us this morning in the studio.
Yes, Mark. We've been recording for the last couple of days with Ferret. And Rick is a wonderful musician. He did the 30th anniversary tour with us, and we all became very good friends. It's lovely to have him playing on a lot of the tracks for all of our artists. A couple of months ago, we released his single called Stand Tall on Star Central, and it spent a couple of months in the top 5 tracks in the inspirational country gospel on Oz Hot Tracks. So we'd like to welcome Rick Ferret. Lovely to have you with us, Rick.
Oh, look, it's so good to be here. It's just been fun. Music's always fun. Good friends makes it better.
Certainly does, mate. We've had a wonderful time in the studio. Has it been great for you to actually be recording and playing with the musicians in the studio that you were out on the road with?
Yeah, it's a good connection, and it's a different environment. In the studios, a little bit more technical, but that's good because it rattles my brain in different directions, and I love on stage, I love in the studio, so it's been fun and good connecting again.
And you also got to understand a lot of the musicians that you toured with and the artists, and you got a feel for their music. To come into the studio, it would mean more to you now playing on their songs than what it would have if you didn't know them as artists.
Yeah, it's not like a sterile environment where you know, I know some session musos will go in, put tracks down for people they may not even really know, and I like the idea of getting a friendship going, because to me that's a part of the basis of music, and you build on that. So the music flows much easier for me when I know the people.
Absolutely. I'd like to go to Rick's track now, Stand Tall. If you can play that and share that with the listeners, Mark, and we'll come back to Rick.
Yeah, I'll be delighted to do that. And Rick, it's lovely to have you in the studio. And I just want to harp back to what you said about friends, because that's so important. It was lovely seeing you and all my friends in that band when you performed in Mildura. And this will bring back fond memories, this wonderful track of yours, Stand Tall.
You're listening to a Star Central single release, available to radio stations around the world.
As I sit and watch you rock in that old chair, on the front porch at home, without a care. But we know deep down you've often struggled. You've stood up tall, and we all know you've faced your share. From mining coal to digging holes, mending farmyard fences. Work was tough and times were rough, defying our senses. Still somehow you showed the way, even on those lousy days. Tall timber stands through life's demands, that's what you'd say. When I sit and think a while, I'm not dreaming. Your life was short, but what you taught somehow had meaning. Life on the farm, having yarns with all kinds of folks. These were the times in my life I love the most. So stand tall, you'd say, you've come a a long way. Life's much longer than a moment or a day. It's not what you take when you go, but leave behind. These were the things you impressed upon our minds. It's not what you take when you go, but leave behind. These were the things you impressed upon our minds.
The Star Central team thanks you for listening to another great artist.
Yes, he is a great artist, Rick Ferret. We just love his voice, and a man that's got quite a number of albums too, Rick. So I want to congratulate you about your body of work, but also you must be thrilled to, as Shaza initially said, working with those artists at the LBS studios.
Yeah, really enjoy it. And we spoke about the word friendship earlier, and that's the bottom line for me. And what grows from that is music and all these other things that are really important. But the baseline is the friendship, and I found that helps me with my music and life. So I'm so glad you're just playing this stuff. It's great.
What do you think, Shaza, that we might play a couple of those wonderful support acts, Anthony Baxter and Ashley, and you want to talk a little bit about that as well?
I did. I especially wanted to talk about Ashley's track, and I wrote this song with Ken Canute, who has passed away now. We released it 12 months ago, and Ken did get to hear this song. It became a hit single back then, and we just wanted to share it as a bit of a tribute today. It was one that we did on tour. Great track for Ashley Cook, one of the best bush balladeers in Australia, called The Great Outback.
You believe you love this country and you're feeling out of whack. Make time to see her beauty far beyond the beaten track. To see a country sunrise as the east grows red and bright, when the bush stirs from its slumber as the treetops catch the light. You don't know what you're missing till you've seen the morning dew as it settles in the hollows where the air you breathe is new. If you've never known the fragrance of the sandalwood in bloom, nor the sweet scent of the wattle when it blossoms after June. And you need to know the feeling of a far-out bushland camp, with your mates all telling stories as the stars turn on their lamps. You need to feel the freedom beyond the beaten track, and then you'll love Australia and the great outback. You ought to see the flowers growing while they're in the spring. Hear the butcher birds in chorus and the bush canary sing. If you could only listen to the mopokes call at night, hear the curlew's eerie wailing and the plover's crying flight. See the distant misty ranges riding like a rolling sea, and the golden rays of twilight painting shades on rock and tree, as the smell of burning gumwood mingles with the billy tea, and the moon rides all the river in sight we all should see. And you need to know the feeling of a far-out bushland camp, with your mates all telling stories as the stars turn on their lamps. You need to feel the freedom beyond the beaten track, and then you'll love Australia and the great outback. And then you'll love Australia and the great outback.
Yeah, no, it's a terrific song. Can we go into Anthony Baxter, Pride of New England?
Perfect. Both Anthony and Ashley have been through the studio over the last couple of weeks laying new tracks.
Terrific.
So it's really nice to revisit these past hits. Anthony's song, Pride of New England, was released about 4 months ago and is still sitting in the international charts and still in the top 5 of the instrumental Oz Hot Tracks. So he's having an amazing run with his new single. Anthony Baxter, Pride of New England.
Well, we're running out of time a little bit, my friend and co-host Shaza, but you've got a lovely interview coming up with Carol Chaney, so we can't go out without hearing that fabulous song.
No, look, we've had a great week here, and Carol has been another artist that's been in to record another couple of new tracks. She started putting her next album together, and her new single's going to be a cracker. But we'd like to actually interview her and play her current single, which is still in the traditional country charts in the top 10, and feature Carol. So thank you very much for having me with you today, Mark. I'm going to leave you with these wonderful interviews carrying us to the end of the show, and I'm going to get back into the recording studio today.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Well done, Shaza, and enjoy your recording, and give a big handshake to you can give him a kiss if you like, to Lindsay Butler.
Good on you, mate. And we'd also like to thank Rick for being with us here today too.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, mate. You have a great day, and lots of love to everyone around the world.
With my first glass of whiskey, wondering where I went wrong. How I wish he was still right here with me. I long to hear those old country songs, like old Hank when it sing about lonesome, and Hank about misery and gin. If the jukebox would play Patsy's Crazy, then I could let this new heartache begin. The band just quit, and the lovers are leaving, and the bartender says it's closing time. Oh, I wonder if he's having trouble sleeping, and if those songs keep on running through his mind like crazy eyes and old 11, the lovesick blues went together again. Why, baby, why must you and I fall to pieces? It's time to let this new heartache begin. Why, baby, why must you and I fall to pieces? It's time to let this new heartache begin.
It's a pleasure to have this lady with us today in the studio to have a chat about her recording career. And Carol actually released her debut album with LBS several years ago, A Million Stars, which has gone on to be a highly successful album. And her new single has just been released with Star Central. It was June #1, which is an amazing feat. It stayed in the charts at #3 in July, and in August it's still holding strong in the top 10. Welcome to the show, Carol Chaney.
Thank you so much for having me.
Darling, your career's been pretty amazing since you've decided to step into Australian country music. Have you enjoyed the journey?
Absolutely. It's I've been out of the music business for a while, and to come back in and to be recording with LBS and Shaza and Lindsay and Peggy has been an absolute delight, and I'm just so thrilled that I got to meet them and that I'm doing my music again. It's just wonderful.
Your music has been really well received, especially in traditional circles. You were out on the 30th anniversary tour and made a whole host of new fans. That must have been really heartwarming for you.
Absolutely. I just didn't expect the response that I received. And, you know, a lot had to do with Lindsay and Shaza and having their name connected with the tour. I mean, it was their 30th anniversary tour, and I just can't explain how overwhelmed I was to be invited on the tour and to be accepted by all their fans as well. It was just wonderful.
It was an amazing tour, and the friendships that you built also with the other musicians was a big part of where you're going to be going musically moving forward.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I mean, just meeting other artists is just wonderful, because you get to sit down and you talk about where they've been and how they've come through, and there's so many similarities, and just getting back on the road. I mean, I haven't done a big tour like that in Australia ever. I've toured overseas, but not in Australia, and no, it was wonderful.
Your very first Australian road show. And I'd like to just return to your single. Now, this was an amazing song for you. To stay in the trad charts for 3 months is a big feat, and to go to number 1 is quite huge.
Yeah, I'm just thrilled. I love the song. It's a Vince Gill song. Just love the song when I first heard it, and I've been doing it on my shows, but to have it recorded so well, I'm just over the moon.
You've actually been back in the studio, and you're getting material together, and you're about to head out on the road again.
Yes, I am. I'm heading up to, this is for Australian listeners, I'm heading up to Queensland and going in through Longreach, Winton, all those places. It's about a 11 or 13 day tour, and that starts on the 19th of September. So I'm preparing for that, and I've just been in the studio recording a couple of new singles.
You're one of the first artists to be in the newly refurbished LBS Musicland studio. How did that feel compared to the big studio in the city?
Oh, it was very close is not the word. It was just very comforting, intimate, yeah, and it was nice that we were all in the one room, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah, I have to say that I really enjoy it too, and not that there's anything wrong with the big studio. It's just a very different feel when you come to record.
Yeah, it was good that I recorded in the big studio, because you just notice the difference. I mean, they've both got pluses, but this one, it's the intimacy, I think, and it was really beautiful.
I agree. So your new songs are going to be fantastic, and I can vouch for that. But back to your current hit single, congratulations. And on behalf of all of us at Star Central, we are so proud of you. And welcome to the international show, and I'm sure we'll talk many more times into the future.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Shaz, and thank you to all the listeners. Bye.
You are tuned in to the international show on Oz Radio Gold, Oz CMR and Allied International Radio. We're going to go into an interview now that I did with Patsy and Dave, and it was very nice to be able to talk to them after such a long time. They were originally the long and the short of it, you would have known, but with their music being played so often throughout Australia at the moment, Patsy and Dave are doing very, very well, and particularly with this album, The Willow. Good morning, folks. How are you?
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark.
We're in good spirits. Thank you so much.
Doing great.
Well, yeah. I'm so pleased you're in good spirits, because you have to be. It took so long for this body of work to come together, and we've been waiting with bated breath, haven't we, all of us?
We have. We've got some old and some new, so it's very, very exciting.
Yes, it certainly is. 11 tracks, and I've got to say that we knew from the start that you were going to get Russell Morris involved, but when he actually accepted, I think you were over the moon, weren't you?
Oh, we couldn't believe it. I mean, you know, growing up listening to Russell's songs and loving his music, never in my wildest dreams, or, you know, both of us, we never thought that we'd one day be working with him and songwriting with him. So it's been a great privilege and a real honour.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, I try to tell people, explain to people overseas that don't know Russell Morris about all the fabulous music, and not only that, it's the history in rock and roll that he's been associated with. That's it's so incredible. It's the behind story, isn't it?
Oh, totally and utterly. He's been about for a long time. He's an absolute legend.
He's had a lot of experience. He's done lots and lots of things in his life. He's lived a very exciting life, actually.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, recognised in the ARIA Hall of Fame, and you know, and I think the thing that we are so impressed with is, you know, he's such a humble man, and he's very committed to working with other musicians. And I think that's a really wonderful trait, you know, to have all of that success, be such a hero for us and a legend, and then, you know, offer his time. The generosity is incredible, really.
He's just such a great person. I mean, he's just so down to earth. And you know, we felt really comfortable around him, working with him. He's just such a great guy to hang out with. He's got some amazing stories.
What I wanted to, and what I wanted to talk about too was the production side of things, and whether he had any input in regards to that, because of course you go back to Molly Meldrum and the work he did with Molly around The Real Thing and all those great songs, and to be able to, I don't know, did he have an influence? Could he have an influence with your the production side?
Most definitely.
Wow.
He certainly he was very impressed with the previous album production.
That's right.
Which was the Midnight Choir.
Yeah.
And there was one song in particular that he absolutely loves, and that's Cowboy Lonesome.
Yeah, he adores it.
And he can't believe why we're not millionaires out of that song.
And why
he absolutely loves it so much.
Why it didn't go platinum across the world.
And that's why when we said to him, look, we'd like to work with our producer that produced that album, he had no problems with that at all. He goes, I think that guy, you know, Kenny Royster, is amazing. And he was actually quite excited to work with Kenny.
Yeah, which is not surprising, because Kenny, I've never heard of an album going diamond internationally, but Luke Combs' album, and you know, has just gone diamond, which is 10 million sales worldwide. And of course, Kenny produced that album.
How good's that?
And, you know, so I mean,
you're rubbing shoulders with the best.
Yeah, well, no doubt. We didn't know it, of course, when we first engaged with Kenny many, many years ago. What we knew was that he was so dedicated, a brilliant musician.
Well, he's a
vocal coach.
Yeah,
you know,
everything rolled into one.
Yeah, he does amazing, and we love him too. And Dave gets on so well with him, and so do I. But just to have that kind of person, you know, literally rooting for you and writing songs with you, because Kenny, of course, has written songs with us, and then to have him engage with Russell and us on these two new songs was just such a blessing. He's incredible. You asked about Russell and his input. What he did was he came to the studio. Of course he was prepared, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, he knew the songs backwards.
Yep.
He was very humble in his approach to the singing. He said to Kenny, you know, maybe Kenny could teach him something in terms of his vocal coaching, but frankly,
I think all of those years of experience, they shone through when he was in the studio. He goes, I think I'm going to be able to get these two songs done in 3 hours, and we're like, oh, that's pretty ambitious. But you know what? He came and smashed it out, and that was just the experience that he's got. And even when we wrote the songs with him, he brought so many good things to the table.
Yeah. Well,
that's the songwriting. It's amazing.
Yeah, and before you pinch it on me, I was going to ask you a question about that because you just mentioned about his vocal coaching experience, Kenny Royster, because one of the things I was going to say that's a standout with me with those two songs that Russell joins you with, The Willow and Rumblin' Train, is that I can't believe the similarities in the tone of your voice and Russell's on this particular album, Dave.
Yeah. It was Russell commented after we sent him the final mix down. Well, it wasn't the final mix down. It was a mix down that Kenny was pretty happy with. He said, "Have a listen to this and see if you want any tweaks on this." And one of the first things that Russell said, he goes, "What a great blend of voices."
Yes.
He goes, "It's a really good blend."
Absolutely.
And it is true, Mark. Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, no, it's a standout when you listen to them on air for sure. And that's great credit to you, Dave. We keep on saying, and I'm not the only one, but I've been saying it from day one. I'll take a little bit of credit there. That, mate, you are going to be recognised in your time as one of the great vocalists coming through in Australian music. You really are. Regardless of genre, you really are. And I've got to say that Patsy is really compliments you with that opportunity to really get out there and deliver your own style, and it really is. It's a familiar style. It's the same. I know I've been around a while, and I know all the Russell Morris songs. I've been playing them for absolutely years. And when you put a Russell Morris song on, you know it's Russell Morris. When you put a Patsy and Dave or a Long and the Short of it on, you know straight away that it's you, Dave, and that's great credit to you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Thanks. It's very kind of you to say that. We've worked hard, but I think it doesn't always happen, but definitely Patsy and I have a great vocal sound together. The sound that we create together is, and I think that was one of the things that Kenny has praised us about, our producer, over the years. He said that you guys, he's a man of very few words most of the time.
Okay.
But he definitely did say to us, he goes, "You guys have definitely got something really cool going on." That's what he said.
That's his way of saying.
And I don't think he's the kind of guy that would just produce anyone, Mark. So we feel great to be able to work with him.
And I know that Russell, he thought he was absolutely amazing as well. And
had they met each other before this?
No.
Wow, what a collaboration.
Yeah, it really is.
So it all came together. It was quite magical, actually, that it worked the way it was, and we were all happy with the end product. And I still can't believe we actually did it. And because I was quite nervous when Russell agreed to write a couple of songs. Well, it was just one song in the beginning, and then we talked him into possibly the other one. We hadn't sort of written for a while, so we were off the horse there for a while, and we were doubting it because we thought we have to present something to Russell because that's the way he wanted us to work. He said, "You come up with a chord progression, a melody, and then he sent that to me. He goes, that's the way I work. I'll take it away and put my input into your idea." That's how he wanted to sort of start it. So we were doubting ourselves massively, like, hope he likes this. And I think we went through about 5 or 6 different ideas before we came up with those ones.
Yeah.
Before we actually sent him anything.
That's right. Yeah. I think we've written about 5 or 6 songs actually, and we've got them in the back pocket, so that's all right. But we just didn't think they quite were up to speed with who we were dealing with, and then it got to the critical stage where we had to send stuff to him because time was against us. And, it's amazing when that happens. You just have to pull the stop out. You just have to say, I've got confidence in this. We'll send this through to him.
But we were quite amazed because we sent, a rough idea to him, and then a day or two later, he'd send something back. He goes, I think that's really great. I like the way it's going, but how about this? And we listen to it and go, my God, that's brilliant. That's absolutely...
That's where we should be going. Of course we should be going.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing what he done.
It must have been really an experience at the start because, dealing with these legends and you're coming in, you must have felt humble in regards to, speaking up and and letting yourself be heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, quite right, Mark. I mean, you have to have the confidence to actually say
speak
it as
out.
it is. Yeah, most definitely, and you have to have the guts and the intestinal fortitude to say when Russell comes by and says, "Oh, maybe we haven't introduced this part properly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to go down this path?" As I said, he's very humble too, and of course he was right. And then you have to swallow your pride, which is not an issue with us because that was
that's the idea.
That was the idea of
working
songwriting
all together.
But you're right. We didn't know how to react if But
the thing was that we were so wrapped in that he liked the idea.
He did,
and he did not change one chord. I don't think Kenny did. He did. In the song, he didn't change the melody too much, but he just added so much with setting up the story and the lyrics and everything like that. He's brilliant. He's absolutely
brilliant. He goes away and he really does ponder and think about things in the background.
Yeah.
And the ideas he came back with were just sensational.
Let's talk about another song that I've been playing in the few days that I've had the album, and it's played a few times now, A Lot Like Georgia. It was written by Heather Cheshire. What a song.
Yeah. She's an amazing vocalist as well, by the way.
Okay.
She's a Nashville songwriter. She does a lot of work in studios, but she's a Nashville-based songwriter, and Kenny actually has worked with her, and he knows her very, very well.
And so did they present the song to you, did they?
Correct. She presented the song to us.
Okay.
Some years ago, actually, Mark, to be honest with you.
Okay.
When we first started preparing You Made Me Stronger, Heather, she presented that song to us.
Actually, it was quite freaky the way it happened, Mike, because so she presented the song, pitched the song to us, and then when we said to Kenny, this is one of the songs that we want to record, and he goes, I actually know that song. He said, I know the artist, and he said, that song was recorded in my studio.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, how uncanny is that?
No, you know how they do. When a songwriter is pitching work, what they do is they go and get a demo done.
Yeah.
And the demo was done in actually in Kenny's studio. So that was an amazing synergy from the outset, And then of course we haven't formally met Heather, but we've certainly communicated with her, and so that was amazing. I think she's Heather Wiggins now, or she was Wiggins to Cheshire. I'm not sure which way, but she's married in the meantime and changed it. But,
well, that's fantastic. And also, you've got some great writers on here, like Becky Hobbs. I'm a big fan of Becky's work too, and Lonnie Williams, and it just goes on and on and on. So, look, it's we could talk all night with all the tracks that are on the album. They're every one of them's a gem. Even my song, Just One Moon.
We got that. We squeezed that on just for you. You do realise that, Mark?
I'm sure.
That was an absolute mark.
Every time we think about that song, we think of you, Mark.
Hey, tell me. Now, I want you to build my ego up. What did Russell or Kenny think about that song?
Oh well, Kenny loves it, and Russell loves it too. By the way,
oh,
it's
good.
It is beautifully written.
And,
it
is.
Yeah, they do love it.
Okay, great, terrific.
So you're in good company there.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that. Well, terrific talking to you, Patsy and Dave. Always fabulous, and we'll cherish this because this is going to be on podcast on our international show, which actually I'm really chuffed because Peggy and Shaza are doing such a great job at Star Central in marketing the artists and building a relationship with me included, Oz CMR, and getting things out there. And we have stations already, and even I was really thrilled the other day when she said we've got a station in Bakersfield, the old Bakersfield sound, love that. So I'm just thrilled for that. And even down in Little Horsham, in Western Victoria, just fantastic.
Traveling back to the place where I was born, I hear the milkman's horse when the rooster crows at dawn. Fading memories of that old home, and a willow tree, a castle and a throne. From our fort we battled villains in the shade, in a make-believe world of magic we played.
But they pulled down the house and only the tree remains. Well, you never know when the winds might change. And the willow tree looks lonesome there, all alone in the cold night air, surrounded by the new urban sprawl. A monument to all our time, and all the love we left behind is gone, with our hearts and our home. But the willow lives on. Life's moved on from playing in that backyard to a 7-day week. I never thought I'd work that hard. The stories of yesteryear are still aglow, like the current of a river, time still flows. Back then I thought things would stay the same, but now I know the wind must change. And the willow tree looks lonely there. If she goes tomorrow, would anyone care? With wisdom and hope she weeps for us all. A friend that was there before my time, nurture her and watch her shine. In the wind I can hear her call. A friend that was there before my time, nurture her and watch her shine. In the wind I can hear her call. In the wind the willow lives on.
Yes, what a great track and what a fabulous album, The Willow, and that is Patsy and Dave. And you can go to the website www.greatmusiclivesforever.com. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and thank you to my co-host Shaza and Carol Chaney, and also Mr. Rick Ferret for being with us today. And you'll have another international showcase next week at the same time. Let's go out with Peggy Gilchrist, our number one instrumental track on our Hot Tracks. And this was a piece of music beautifully written by Shaza Leigh. It's called Fraser Island.
Thank you for supporting the international show with Mark Eckel and Shaza Leigh. Proudly sponsored by Star Central and produced by Butler Gilchrist Productions.